Hello everyone and welcome to DC Central, and in today's video we are going to be breaking down all of the recent news pieces and news releases going into San Diego Comic-Con 2019 for the Arrowverse, so let's discuss. So, the week is finally upon us. We are now on the week of San Diego Comic-Con, and this has led to much excitement going in, especially for us Arrowverse fans. This is where we get the official panels for all the shows in the new seasons. We also get the new trailers, like the first official trailers for all the new seasons, and lots of little nuggets of information to get us excited for these new seasons. And coming into Comic-Con, we have some really awesome new images that showcase some really interesting things, including the new costume for Supergirl going into Season 5, Oliver's new costume going into Season 8 of Arrow, and also our first look at what the Flash's costume may look like going into Season 6. So we have a lot of awesome information to dive into, so let's go into each show one by one. So starting off with Supergirl, I was meant to do a Supergirl video this week talking about the costume because we did get that official first look from Melissa Benoist, but these photos are much nicer. These come directly from Entertainment Weekly, who are doing a big cover shoot for the Arrowverse this year, and here is our first proper official look, photo shoot look at the costume, and it looks awesome. I have to say, this official first look here that you're seeing on screen right now, this obviously isn't the new costume. This is the original costume that we're used to seeing, but obviously we do know that Supergirl is getting a new costume this season. She's getting the one with the pants, which, if you want my opinion on them, I think they look great. But also, just in this particular one, we also get to see like her new haircut showcase. She's getting a new haircut this season, going with the bangs, which is a bit more like Melissa's style in real life, so they're kind of transferring that over to the show. So these images overall for Supergirl, they look really cool, really strong. Again, I think that they really do showcase Melissa very well here and her in the role. Like I say, it would have been nice if they would have actually made, you know, the photo shoot focus on her new costume, but I guess maybe they didn't have the costume ready for this shoot or something like that, because they've only started using the costume over like the last 2 days of filming. So, you know, and obviously this photo shoot would have been done, you know, I imagine a couple of weeks ago maybe. So I don't know, maybe that's why they didn't have the new costume in this particular shoot, but I still think it's cool that we get to see it here and just see, you know, Melissa on here with the new haircut and things like that. It looks cool, and like I say, it gets me excited going in for this Supergirl Season 5 panel. Now, going over to the Flash, there isn't really much to say about the Flash, actually, above the rest of them. Now, please excuse me if I do miss any information out of this drop. Like, this is literally dropping right now, kind of as we speak. So, you know, please excuse me if there's any kind of, you know, mess-ups there. But we do have the Entertainment Weekly cover for the Flash, and you can have a look at that here. I have to say, I don't know if this is the new suit or not. It looks new to me. There's some gold detailing around the upper arm and the chest area, which looks very different to the one we had in Season 5. The overall suit design is not massively different from the suit for Season 5, but I feel like this suit is slightly different. You'll have to correct me in the comments if I'm wrong on that, if that gold detailing was there before, but I believe it was not. So I think this is a new costume for Barry in the Flash. I mean, we did know that we were getting a new Flash suit this season, but most people were obviously focusing on the chin strap and the headpiece, and the headpiece, curiously, isn't actually featured here. I don't know if that's just because they don't want to cover up Grant Gustin's face, because if you actually look at all the covers and also all the characters featured in these photo shoots, none of them have their helmets on. Like, Oliver is completely, you know, open, and so is Ruby Rose as Batwoman as well. So I think it's interesting that maybe they just, you know, they want to keep it consistent, but it is interesting because obviously everyone on this particular suit is focusing on the headpiece. So it is interesting, but I think Grant looks great here. I really like this cover in particular. I think it looks great, and like I say, I think if this is the new suit, which I'm pretty sure it is, if this is the new Season 6 suit, I really love that extra detailing. It's just we're waiting for that final nail in the coffin, which is, does it have a chin strap? Now, we were wondering about whether or not Oliver Queen was going to be getting a new costume this season for Arrow, and he absolutely is. This costume might actually be my favourite one we've ever received. I love this suit. This looks beautiful. I mean, I loved the original suit he had back in the early days of the show. I love the suit he has now. But my god, I love this. This is the perfect blend of both of those suits, and I like the fact that it actually leans more into the original suit design than the new suit design, because the reason why I fell in love with Arrow in the first place was because of how grounded and realistic it was, and I loved that grounded and realistic suit. So to go back to that design, I absolutely love. I also love that Stephen Amell has grown his hair out again for this season. I've never really liked Oliver, you know, with the shaven head. I didn't really like that look, especially in Season 7. It was very, very prominent. I was not a fan with that. but I like the fact that he's kind of got the beard short and then the longer hair, and this new costume, it looks absolutely phenomenal. These images are great. Steven looks fantastic in these photographs, and I think Entertainment Weekly have done a great job with capturing these images for the magazine. And these photos, this new costume, I can't say enough about it. I'm absolutely in love with it. I'm gushing over it, and I just can't wait to actually see it in live action in Arrow Season 8. It's going to be absolutely incredible. Now, moving over to Legends of Tomorrow, I'm actually quite shocked to see Legends in this lineup, given the fact that I didn't know they were going to be having a presence at Comic-Con this year. I just assumed that, obviously, because they're not premiering until the mid-season, I was expecting them to take this year off. But given the fact that they are going to be in Crisis, they are going to be in the crossover, I guess it makes sense to have them here. And we do get to see Katie Lotz here on the front cover as Sarah Lance, and of course she looks phenomenal, as always. No costume changes for Sarah this year, but what can you really expect? I mean, they barely wore their costumes last year. It's not like they're going to do anything here. What's really interesting about Legends this year, however, and with Sarah in particular, is that it does actually state that Sarah is going to be getting a superpower this year on Legends. Now, I'm not a fan of this idea. I think this is a bad idea, but basically the way Katie Lotz describes it is that Sarah is going to get a magical illness which will then transition into a superpower. She'll learn how to make it a superhero power, which won't necessarily be a good thing. It's going to come with its challenges for sure. Now, like I said, not a fan of this idea, really. I don't think you need to give Sarah a superpower. She's kind of badass enough as it is. You don't need to add anything to her to make her a stronger character. So to do this, I feel like it's a bit of a silly thing. It feels very Legends at this point, though. So, you know, I really hope that Legends is going to improve in Season 5, because Season 4 was shockingly bad. But I really hope that, you know, this isn't this thing that's going to stay with the character. I kind of hope it's maybe, you know, an arc kind of thing that we don't have to deal with going forward, because it's a bad idea. I'm not a big fan of it. But these photos of Sarah, you know, for this cover, they do look great, and it's nice to have kind of a Legends-esque presence here, even though the show is going to be gone for a little while. And Batwoman is also here. We get to see Ruby Rose as Batwoman, and she looks great in these photos, to be fair. Obviously, I'm very, very critical on Batwoman. I'm not a fan of this, you know, I don't love the idea of the show in general, and I don't like the casting, but I have to say she looks great in these photos, and they've really done a good job of kind of capturing Kate Kane, I think. I think that these do a really good job, and I think Ruby looks great in these photos as well. I think they do a really good job of capturing the look of the suit, and I think it looks really good actually showing her without the kind of the mask and the wig. I think it looks, you know, really good to give that kind of presentable look to it and allow us to connect with the character more on that level. And I think that she looks fantastic in these photos as well. It's going to be interesting to see what they do with Batwoman this year at Comic-Con. Obviously, this is the first season of the show, so they have a lot to talk about. They're going to have a lot to kind of establish, and also establishing her role within the Arrowverse and within Crisis. It's going to be interesting to see what role she's going to play. You know, she had a fairly small role in Elseworld, so we'll have to see how much that is multiplied going into Crisis. But again, these photos look great. I'm really happy actually with what they've done with Ruby Rose here, and definitely an improvement over some of the original photos that we got of her. And finally, we have this shot, which has all the heroes together, and this looks fantastic. I absolutely love this. Obviously, we have Oliver up front there with his new costume there, followed by Batwoman. We have Barry at the back, which again also featuring his new costume, what looks like, and then you have Supergirl, and you also have Sarah there as well. This is a really cool photo. I love it when they get all the characters into one photo together, especially, you know, these are all of our lead heroes in one shot. Looks fantastic again. I think they all look great together. Obviously, this just gives me good feelings seeing all of them together like that. You know, these are our heroes of the Arrowverse, so to see them all here together going into battle is going to be awesome, and it just gives you those feelings, you know. So I really love this shot. Again, this might become my new Twitter header, because I think this looks fantastic. I absolutely love it. So it's really, really cool. And again, I think Batwoman actually fits in really well with this cast. I think she looks really good there among some of the others, especially stood next to Oliver Queen there. I think she looks really, really strong. And I would also like to see her interact with Sarah. Obviously, we saw her have some nice moments with Kara in Elseworlds. I'd like to see her get some moments with Sarah as well. If she can, that'd be nice. But that's a really great little final shot to end this video with. It's just all of our heroes together in one photo, in one frame. It looks stunning. Overall, these photos have honestly taken my breath away. Looking at all of them together, it just looks like a fantastic photo shoot overall. And again, I'm a little surprised they didn't wait on this photo shoot a little bit just to actually highlight, you know, Kara's new costume for Season 5, but either way, I think that these costumes look fantastic. Gets me very excited going into Comic-Con. Obviously, this week is Comic-Con, so we're going to be getting all the new footage and all the new information coming out from the officials behind the shows, all coming out all at once, so that's going to be really exciting, and these photos definitely do their job of getting me excited for Comic-Con. So if you guys want to stay tuned for all of the Comic-Con updates, make sure you hit that subscribe button and also hit that notification bell so you don't miss any uploads from me as and when they release. And as always, guys, for some more DC TV content like this, I make sure you want to see any more videos from Arrow or Legends or Flash or Supergirl, make sure you definitely hit that subscribe button, and I hope to see you guys again next time.